Get her, Mommy. Get her. Kill her.
The mouth is going, kill her, Mommy. Kill her, Mommy. So I got the wacky idea to take kill her, Mommy, the first two letters of kill, K-I, and ma, M-A. And then there was a gizmo we had called an echoplex, which we were using a lot in the film.
Kill her, Mommy. Kill her.
I went to the microphone, and I don't know why, but I just went, and it went, then I went, and whoa, I went, that's pretty spooky.
So I think it's obviously a success because everybody remembers it.
It was really important that we rehearsed those scenes because we were really using pokers, and really using frying pans. They were not props. I mean, they were props, but they were real props.
There was one moment when I was supposed to smack Adrienne, give her in the face. And on stage, of course, you do. And you're careful. You cup your hand and you get it along the jawbone so you don't break them, their jaw.
And when we actually came to blows, I got a real smash across the face.
Oh, Sean! She fell to the ground. I said, did I hurt you? She said, oh. He said, what is it? What is it? I said, we were just rehearsing the scene. And I said, you hit somebody when you're going to on stage. He said, no, Betsy. You don't hit anybody in the films. I remember after I had the fight on the beach where I lost my head.
How in the world can we do this? Chop somebody's head off and make it look as if it actually happened.
That night he made my mock-up of my head. Straws up my nose, all this gunk and goop going down my face.
He was baking Betsy Palmer's head in the oven. It's like it was so bizarre.
You wind up building up her shoulders and put the false head on top of it.
I know that Tommy Savini wielded the machete, but it's amazing how real that looks. Ooh.
It was really disgusting.
And we were at the last penultimate draft, and Sean said, Victor, we need a chair jumper for the end. And I said, okay, and I went back to my drawing board and borrowed from all of the best horror films I've ever seen. And so we have the dream sequence with Adrienne King floating around in that rowboat, and then the hand coming out of the water, and it's Jason.
The ghost story is over, so you can turn on the lights. So Dawn comes up, and she's on this beautiful placid lake. When the kid comes up out of the bottom of the lake, he comes up musically at a point where it's also unexpected. Then you had the audience. The part of Jason, we wound up hiring Ari Lehman. He came out and did it.
We were both so cold and freezing. They had the heaters there, and, they had towels as soon as we came out. And we did it a few times. And I'm going, Sean, are you sure we want to do this again? He goes, we're going to get it. We're going to get it right. Don't worry about it. This is it.
But I certainly did not suggest in that scene that he was hydrocephalic or deformed in any way.
Tommy Savini showed me this Polaroid, and I didn't have my glasses on at that night. And I said, now who is this? He said, oh, that's your son, Jason. I said, why does he look so strange? He said, oh, he's a mongoloid. I said, what? I said, that wasn't in the script. He said, no, but they thought he didn't look weird enough, so we were making him up.
Because of the nature of the nightmare ending, and because Sean had Tom Savini on board as such a fabulous makeup artist, they turned him into sort of a monstrous-looking cretin. I mean, he just looked awful.
We had screenings for ourselves, but then we had the first screening that I recall for Paramount. And if you recall the ending, when that head pops up, I swear people just jumped out of it. And I think that's the thing that sold it.
And the next thing I know, Paramount has bought the movie and is going to do this massive release in all these theaters. And I'm going, wow.
Warner Brothers took foreign distribution. Paramount took domestic. At that point, Frank Mancuso was running distribution for Paramount. And he made a choice to take this no-star independent film, release it nationally with a national budget, and see what happens. And the notion of doing an independent film that would ever be released nationally had never occurred.
The opening night on Broadway, it was just packed. It was packed.
What are all these people going to see this movie? Do they know what they're going to see? And I guess they did, you know.
Man, they jumped every single time something happened.
There were real screams.
Screaming, running out of the theater in the middle of the film, just screaming and yelling.
Come on, you guys.
The best part of watching Friday the 13th in theaters, and I was watching the audience say, don't go in there. You know, I mean, literally talking to the screen saying, girl, don't go in there. You don't want to go there.
And Sean would just go like, I got them all.
The kids would come out of the theater telling the kids who are coming in the theater, oh, you better look out, or there was so much fun. And it became a really big social event.
The next thing I knew, I was looking at the Variety results, and we were in the top 10.
People poured into the theaters to see this and kept coming and kept coming and kept coming. They started talking about $10 million, $20 million, $30 million.
When the film was released, by and large, it was dismissed by the critics as being exploitative and just not really worthy of attention.
The critics universally hated it. I read that I'm really awful and that the movie sucks and that we all suck.
One of them was fit to be tied because I had done this movie. How dare I let my viewing audience down by playing this horrible woman? He said, you write to her. So there were people who were disappointed in me.
Parents and educators would say, this is not a productive use of your time.
The feminists didn't like it particularly.
Who's going to die? Well, the slut's going to die for sure, and the good person, the virgin, she will survive.
Did you live because you were a good girl?
I never bought into the notion of sex equals death, that the reason everybody gets punished in horror films is because they're sexually promiscuous.
I was certainly raised that if you make love before you're married, you are going to get punished somehow.
We weren't doing anything. We were just messing up.
I'm not sure whether the vengeful, moralistic tone of the movie was anything I was thinking of consciously. I was basically working from what I had seen in my own movie-going experience prior to that if you were following your lustful heart, that you were going to get nailed for it. That was at least the Puritan ethic that I was brought up with.
Just when it was getting interesting.
I didn't look at it that way as, the victim. I actually thought it was an empowering position. I lived.
Have I written something that caused people to go off? If there's a paranoid schizophrenic out there who's seen Friday the 13th 147,000 times, should I feel guilty if he goes out and murders somebody?
I had someone who came into my life, a very bizarre situation. It was a person who was obsessed and, for some reason, obsessed with me. I had a reevaluation of my career at that point. I realized that I just didn't want to be in front of the camera that much, that my life was going to be so affected, and it was really affected for quite a while until the person was apprehended.
Ma'am, we didn't find any boy.
Then he's still there.
We started talking about doing a sequel within days, really, of the initial success. And that came directly from Paramount. You killed 8 people, maybe next year you should kill 12 people. My friends in Boston felt it was really important to bring back this Jason character. Well, I thought that was just the worst idea I ever heard. I was completely wrong.
There was no hockey mask, which became one of the icons of the film.
It was never my idea to put a hockey mask on anybody because I had nothing to do with parts 2 through whatever.
I said, I don't know who this guy in the hockey mask is. I would never have done what I did to Camp Blood if my little boy hadn't drowned. I said, he's at the bottom of the lake.
Friday the 13th kind of became its own little industry, didn't it?
When you go to cocktail parties and you say you're a writer, and then people say, well, what'd you write that I would know? Now I can say, well, Friday the 13th, and they either go, ooh, or, oh, really? But at least they know what it was.
I mean, I dismissed it for many, many years, and I wouldn't fess up to it at all. And then it just became such a big thing where everybody seemed to enjoy it so much. I thought, well, all right, I'm comfortable about it now. It's almost like a badge of honor in a way. It has become that. I'm the queen of the slashers, What am I going to do?
It's not going to die. It will go on forever.
The most important thing you can do in a film career is make money. Because if you make money, people will let you make more films and take other chances, and nobody will blame them. So I've had a lot of opportunities given to me as a result of doing this one little film in New Jersey. Oh, God help them. My kids may be producing Friday the 13th movies long after I'm gone.